$20 off your first month if you start a HealthLink subscription. Find your missing link with HealthLink today on the southeast corner of 70th and Pioneers or by phone at 402-858-9356.
This is where it happens. Long hikes with friends, kayaking adventures with family, more horseback riding, zipline gliding, rock face climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started. Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There it is. Happy Wednesday, Jay Foreman, DP, Austin Norman. The Old School crew is in effect. We are brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Andermatt, and 168th and Maple up there in the O. Lot going on. We got a quick segment here until we get back on time. We had a great crossover with my man E. Strick, always dropping some knowledge. Obviously, it's a good question there about, what it's like to play, in a game after a big game. I got a lot of pressure, and then also the David and Goliath, and where it's more, better comparison, college football or basketball, because, kind of depends, but also it's more David Goliath because football is more of a gladiator sport. But therefore, we're going to move on. Some big statements made out of Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes said that, pretty much endorsed. And it's great. I mean, we got Kobe and Michael, and we've had the guys that tried to emulate greats before, but none, I think, that probably have the same mannerisms, even the same type of body type, and then obviously the haircut and then the big shades or whatever too. Probably, does Patrick Mahomes have his own shades? Is that he's got it, right?
Like the big Oakley ski goggle one.
Yeah, so about the same thing. Do we have that audio, Austin?
Yeah, I got it. All Here is Patrick Mahomes being asked about Dylan Raiola.
I mean, it's cool. Honestly, I was that guy. I grew up watching players. I remember when I would grow up, I loved Alex Rodriguez, played shortstop, and would try to make plays just like him and do stuff like that. And it helped me become the athlete that I am. And so I've it's just telling me I'm getting a little old. I think that's the biggest thing is that you have these guys that are coming up and doing some of the sidearm stuff and everything like that. But I know Dylan. I trained with him in the off seasons. Great kid, a great football player, and I think he's gonna make his own stamp on the game. And I think you've seen that early in his career. Yeah, I don't know if whenever you come in as a freshman, you want to be on Twitter and be the part of the team. I think he wants it to be about his team, and I think that's the right way to play the quarterback position. Is that it's not about you; it's about going out there and having success as a team, and they've done that so far this year. So even though I think he just kind of wants to push us out and play football and go out there and win football games, I think that's the right way to play the position.
Credit KCTV5 for the audio, by the way.
Yeah, it's our boy Nate Brenner down there representing to the fullest. But I think it's one of those things. Yes, does it add more pressure? And if you listen, I guess between the quotes or what he was saying, is he has a great sounding board besides his family to reach out to that play his position on how to handle the pressure of playing quarterback. The best thing you can do when you have success is not get arrogant. And that's the hardest thing to do in this day and times because whether it's social media or, in his case, instant success can cloud your judgment. And the only bad thing that Mahomes said is he was trying to be like Alex Rodriguez, Alex Rodriguez. But, we'll let that slide. He chose to be a football player. But ultimately, normally I think it'd be, a lot of pressure. And we've seen whether it's Harold Miner, Rodney Fields, basketball, being compared to Jordan at a very early age. The only one I think that has actually answered the call and exceeded it, I guess Kobe did where he emulated Jordan, but the pressure coming in as a young person was LeBron James. I mean, obviously there's been others, but in this day and age, it's been extremely hard. And so I thought it was good to start off with that because, as you get going, and you could be in the opposite with Shador, where people are questioning, his leadership. And one thing we have to do is remember they are kids because Shador is, 20, 21, 22 years old, and Dylan's 19. They still aren't mentally developed, so we can't ask them to do man type of things, even though they're getting handsomely paid. And so it's good to hear from, the best quarterback going right now, future Hall of Famer in himself, give an endorsement of our quarterback after just 2 games.
Yeah, I've been listening to this conversation today, and I was asked by some folks in Vegas about this very thing, and I thought it's weird, really weird, that everybody's paying attention to what other people say about the mechanics of the game instead of the game. Like, it should be about the game. It should be about the game. Like, you can talk about all the other stuff, all the, how you dress, and all the social media. Well, wait a minute. They didn't give it value. You did. It's people outside the game talking about all the other stuff. Like, Dylan Raiola gave us enough to talk about Saturday night and the last 2 Saturdays that we don't have to talk about what anybody else thinks he's doing. Because when the lights came on and the whistles were blown, he did what fans were hoping they would do, that the coaches would hope he does, and then that he and his family would hope he does.
Right.
But it's social media chuckleheads who keep throwing up memes and videos of Dylan Raiola and Patrick Mahomes side by side, and then it finally reaches and somebody asks Mahomes, and he goes, okay. But quite frankly, I guarantee you that it's not a priority to either one of them. It's not. Mahomes is chasing he's chasing a legacy. Super Bowl, he wants number 3. He wants the MVP back. Like, he's got some stuff to do. Dylan Raiola certainly got a plate full. He don't need the comparisons. It's a distraction. It's a distraction. Let that young man grow. Let him get his feet planted here in Lincoln, Nebraska. He's been here 2 weeks throwing football under live fire. Let that dude focus on Northern Iowa. It's so much. We do so much stuff. Let that, and then the adults is like, well, all the social media stuff. Well, wait a minute. You're the one that put it into the pool. You're the one that said, well, his social media value determines his interest and what his NIL is.
Right.
Well, why'd you do it? Like, it's all distraction. I'm thrilled for the young man to get notoriety and discussion. I'm thrilled for 2-0. I'm way more thrilled for 2-0. I'm way more thrilled for his ability to lead a Nebraska team that needs to be led in the exact way he's leading them. And that's in the film room, that's in the workouts, that's being conversational and making smart decisions on and off the field. That's the real, like, you want to tell me that he trying to be like Mahomes. Okay, tell me Mahomes is staying home at night and not really bothered. Tell me that he's in the film study, that he's working on his mechanics again. He's recovering, right? He's not taking Northern Iowa for granted.
But I think part of what comes out of the distraction that's not on the field is that Dylan Raiola also answers the questions in an eerily similar way to Patrick Mahomes. Both guys, you can tell it's not a priority for them, right? They talk about these things in the same way. Okay, yeah, it's cool. Let's move on. It's something else. I think that shows another through line of, hey, they both have leadership. They do both have their heads screwed on straight.
Yeah, I think it's, look, when Dylan's 19. I don't know. Patrick's got to be 27 or something like
28,
that. Yeah, 28. So when you train, you spend a lot of time with people. and especially playing quarterback. So he's learning things by just being in his presence, right? And so when you're able to do that and be around one of the greats, you start to embody them, and then also you understand what the priority is. The conversations that he's been able to have, and I know this because I was privy to these as I was growing up with my dad. Is these are conversations that billionaire kids or kids of billionaires are able to have, right? Where you're able just to learn stuff by learning it. And so, part of it, yeah, it's a distraction, but part of it is increasing your value. But the biggest thing that he has to learn from Patrick Mahomes, obviously, you got to continue to get better, be best teammate you can be, all that. That's kind of home training, is learn how to deal with success. Patrick Mahomes has had to do that. He went from essentially a redshirt year to starting and being talked about as possibly a generational talent. Now, he's lived up to that, but you have to be very, very humble in order to do so. And so what Patrick Mahomes is telling you right now, right? He's telling you right now the kid is humble because he's actually taken some of the lessons that I've taught him or told him about actually to heart. So it's very few in between, far in between, that happens. So that's the bigger thing that comes out of it versus the mechanics and all that. And that's going to be, it's no different than Steph Curry. He's a big time 3-point shooter. The guys listen, I see it all the time. You got kids jacking up threes, ain't got no business jacking up threes. Seriously. And so, but they don't listen to Steph Curry when Steph Curry said, listen, I became the best shooter I could be by shooting mid range. They're looking at the end product. So for whatever reason, he's been able to go to the foundation of what made Mahomes good. Nebraska is a beneficiary of it right now. It's only going to get harder. So he's going to have to draw back on some of those lessons that he's learned outside of the social media aspect of it to continue to be successful. So I think it's good that what Patrick Mahomes is saying versus what everybody's seeing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's telling you more than what you're actually asking him if you actually listen to what he's saying. You have to listen to what he's saying. A lot of people hear it because they're hearing what Patrick Mahomes is saying, and all they're replaying is the first throw in the first game, not the first throw, but the one we did it, and then they put it side by side. Mm-hmm. That's not what Patrick Mahomes was said in that quote.
No.
Yeah. And so if you really listen to what he was saying, you're actually getting a more inside look into Dylan as a quarterback and as a person, teammate, than anything. And that's the most important thing. And so all the other stuff that goes with it, he's already telling you, along with some of the other coaches, what they're saying in preparation and all that, I would be extremely competitive to be the first one in, last one out. If I was a senior and they were talking about a corner, D lineman, putting it, oh, this dude gets it. Mm-hmm. I'd be trying to match that.
But I mean, in a lot of this, and maybe I'm wrong in assuming that second generation athletes have different conversations because they have different knowledge and experience.
Yeah, they should. I mean, his dad played a different position, but you got to think he grew up running around Detroit locker room. I've been knowing him since he was a kid. He's been able to meet and be around like superstars his whole. I mean,
Mahomes is in the same. He's in the same ilk. Jay Foreman's in the same ilk.
Yeah, Mahomes. Yeah. Right? I mean,
there's certain players, there's certain athletes. When you get that second and third generation knowledge, experience, one, it is a running start. It is a running start because there are things that you have removed from your path that other people are going. The guy who's first generation has to listen to Jay Foreman. And then Jay Foreman's ability to have a conversation with Dylan Raiola about second generation stuff.
Yeah.
Not everybody can have that discussion.
We talked about this. A lot of the guys that are really successful with famous dads don't play the same position. Only Peyton Manning.
There's a couple.
Peyton Manning is the outlier.
Yeah.
But you think of obviously Dylan and Dom and Patrick Mahomes doesn't even play baseball. He was a really good baseball player. They don't. And you so forth. So you like Tony Dorsett and his son. Tony Dorsett was obviously a running back. His son was Anthony Dorsett was a defensive back. That's just the way it goes. Like Clay Matthews, I think so Bruce Matthews was his dad, or they both were linebackers, and then there's so many Matthews, and then the other one is the left tackle for the Falcons. But generally, it's the opposite because of one, they teach you that there's more to the game, but then two, they dealing with success or seeing the whole glitz and glamour. They've been through it, so it doesn't really allow you to lose focus if you're approaching the game right.
Yeah, I mean to know, because the dads can tell you, hey, there's a pothole coming. You got far fewer blind spots.
Right.
Like you get the reminder. But I know that Jay talking to Ken Griffey Jr. would be different than him talking to Ken Dixon or otherwise.
Right.
They're different conversations.
When you go through it, and plus the relationship between the dad and the son, or the mom, or even the dad and the daughter. Sometimes you've seen a lot of like that with the NBA and all that stuff. It's just different. The relationships are different because these kids have to, like, Dylan has to grow up at a faster rate than a regular 19-year-old coming to college. It just is what it is. And yeah, is it fair? No, but actually this is what you signed up for. This is the path that you have chosen to do and go along. It's a totally different relationship.
And it's a new thing that's happening in like in volleyball and WNBA. You're starting to see where now you're going to get NBA daughters.
Yeah, well, but
Right.
but again, it doesn't change because the path that you go down to parent to child athletically is different than anybody else. Now, for every person that can be there to support you, you get people like, oh, you're only good because of your dad. I'm sure Dylan heard this 10 million times. He might, or whatever. So that right there, that dynamic growing up like that, it creates a different type of relationship. Plus, they have a very tight family, very strong belief in themselves and family, so they're able to kind of lean on each other at different times. And they all have went through it. I think his sister played at TCU, played volleyball. His younger brother plays in high school now, and obviously Dylan's playing on the big stage right now. So his younger brother coming up has been exposed to recruiting visits, bright lights, expectations, because he's followed not only his big brother, his big sister, his dad, his uncle, and then everybody forgets his grandfather played as well. So it's a traditional type of thing that they get into, and they know it's not a family business. It's just it's the type of family that they've kind of raised and stuff. So either way, I mean, I'm sure Mahomes and Dylan are able to have some next level conversations versus Mahomes and say there's some other quarterback, John Smith, that's a 4-star recruit that's with the same trainer. The conversations are extremely different. Number one, Dylan's the number one quarterback. Mahomes is the number one in the league. I'm assuming the next guy coming isn't number one, but the next guy might not have a former dad or a dad that's a former professional athlete.
I would love to hear Tebow talking about Raiola. I would love, because that's to hear Dylan talk about Tebow and why he was a fan is way more structurally impressive to me because it's foundational.
Yeah, it's leadership and all that. Obviously, playing wise, that's not what you want to.
Yeah, no, but I mean, just to have the two people talking about it, we get caught up in the mechanics.
Yeah,
but I would love to hear them talk about the people.
Yeah, well, it's better to hear what Dylan says about Tim Tebow because he was able to take some of the things that wasn't. Tim Tebow was the first overblown like leadership type of guy, right? Like, dude, you had first round picks everywhere. I mean, when you think of that team that Urban Meyer had, everybody was playing in the league, and they 2 Pouncey twins, all the whole offense line, when you had the crazy dude playing tight end, you had Percy Harvin and all those dudes. But his leadership skills is what became attraction to Dylan. Versus Tim Tebow can't talk about Dylan because Tim Tebow didn't come up in the same lifestyle as Dylan did. Now, he can talk about what the young player is because Tim Tebow came in and played along. People forget, Tim Tebow in that first championship, he was backing up Chris Leak. Chris Leak was that dude. Independence High School, Charlotte, North Carolina, he was that dude. There wasn't social media then, right?
And they beat him up too.
Right. And Tim Tebow benefited off of that. So when Tim Tebow came in as a freshman, he has no idea what it's like when Dylan came, because Tim Tebow didn't have to take them to a national championship or take over until Chris was ready to hand over the keys to the Lamborghini. Now, granted, Tim Tebow is great, one of the most iconic players to play in this recent history, but I think it's more Dylan talking up versus Tim Tebow talking down.
Question for you before we break. Do we get this version of Cam Newton without Tim Tebow and Chris Leak?
Ooh. Well, what version of Cam Newton do you think?
Yeah, like,
well, hold on. Now this is a whole different thing. Because if you talk to people that was there,
that great Auburn year that Cam had to come from friction. Like, he had to take a lot of stuff, and then fix a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but if you know people that were there at Florida, Cam was that dude.
Yeah.
It became a friction and a pull between who wanted Cam to play, which was the head coach, and was actually Dan Mullen, and where Urban Meyer wanted Tim Tebow to go. Then you had the whole computer thing, which is kind of suspect at best.
Right.
Cam just kind of got jettisoned out here to O Street. He landed on his feet in at a JC. People forget Mississippi State pretty much, which is damn, talked themselves out of Cam Newton.
Yep.
He just kind of fell into Auburn. Cam was a byproduct of being disrespected at the place that he felt like he was the best at. Now, I will tell you this. Cam didn't fully mature until he got to JUCO because he had to.
Yeah.
Because he felt like, and plus there was no transfer portal.
Like, what am I doing here?
Well, it's like
I'm the best player in the country, and I'm at a JUCO.
I have to.
Like, right. I'm at a JUCO. Like,
I have to do something.
Yeah.
So I will say this. Okay, I got Danny Woodhead is one of my favorite dudes. Right. People beat up Frank for not recruiting him, and I've been in this boat too, where I didn't get recruited by Minnesota at the time. You don't get Danny Woodhead Super Bowl champion if he comes to Nebraska, maybe. You don't get Cam Newton if all those things didn't. You don't really get Cam Newton if he's not actually the polar opposite of not only Tim Tebow, but every dude that got. Remember, they were talking about the Missouri quarterback and the Washington quarterback getting drafted number 1, and they were totally two different dudes than Cam Newton. If you don't get Tim Tebow, those guys aren't as appealing.
Like, Tebow crashed Chris Leak.
Right.
Leak. Like,
he came in like a tidal wave, and he was a complete opposite of Chris Leak. Chris Leak was a drop back quarterback, wasn't very mobile, but could be mobile enough. Tim Tebow was essentially a tight end playing quarterback and could do enough. And once you got it to the guys, in space, do their thing. And plus, he had a different quality, right? He had a personality that he would take anything that Urban Meyer said and run through a brick wall for him. Now, so would Chris Leak, but they were two different guys, and he was the new shiny car. Chris Leak came 2 years too early. If Chris Leak and Tim Tebow come out at the same time, Chris Leak goes somewhere else. Yeah. He's at Clemson.
And in this era, that wouldn't have happened.
No, he would have been.
All the parts would have felt differently had it been now.
Yeah, and that's part of the story of you talk about Patrick Mahomes. Now, I know we're going a little bit long. Like, if Alex Smith doesn't get pretty much jettisoned by the 49ers to the Chiefs, and then Andy Reid's like, I got this dude that I'm going to make better, right? I believe in Alex. Alex Smith was the number 1 pick. So whatever, remember, San Francisco was a cesspool out there. Okay, this dude's got talent. He's actually overcame some odds. And Trent Dilfer was his backup, so that's the dude stabbing you in the back. Trust me. Listen, and then I'm able to go get this dude down in Texas Tech, and I think they won 5 games, right? Did they even win? Did they go to a bowl game? Patrick Mahomes last year?
His last year, I think
they got. But the rap on him, takes too many chances. Needs to develop.
That scouting report on Mahomes is brutal.
Well, same one with Tom Brady. Yeah. Well, then guess what? Okay, that's cool. That's right. Andy Reid's like, that's exactly what I want.
Thank you.
Right? I got McNabb on steroids.
Thank you.
Right? And the dude's
got a bowl game his senior year.
No bowl
the year
game.
after. They went 5-7, 3-6 in conference.
Because that was it when he came out. They was like, he can't even take his team to a bowl game.
His mother we were in Houston at the time, and ran into his mother at a mall for Christmas, and a 45-minute conversation about his senior year.
Yeah. I think he got banged up a little bit, right?
Well, he played in all 12 games.
Yeah, but I think he got hurt. And then also, remember, they were like, oh, well, we don't want another Jay Cutler, right? Everybody was like, well, at least Brett Favre won and, took a bad team to a bowl game. He's not a winner. Well, Andy Reid said, yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Hey, we got this dude's going to get us to the AFC Championship.
Hey, never forget who traded with him to get him there, Jay.
The Bears, right? The Bears? The Colts?
Bills.
That's right. But guess what? We got Josh Allen, though.
And
Mahomes?
And here's what's funny too. Alex Smith was also, if in any other era, he has an entirely different career because he was the number 3 quarterback at Utah and was literally giving up football.
Right.
And injury. Oh my goodness, I got to go beat Cal on national TV.
Right. And,
hey, I'm pretty good at this.
Yeah, he actually is pretty good.
I'm actually pretty good.
And then let's also listen, if you really have guys that really are recruiting, Alex Smith isn't in Utah because he actually ends up being.
He's at USC,
right,
with Reggie Bush. That was his teammate. That was the whole thing,
right? Package deal.
The whole timing of it all is always amazing. And again, this is the perfect time for Dylan Raiola to be here, with proximity to Mahomes in Kansas City.
Yeah,
it is a perfect marriage. And the universe don't play with it, man.
It was a conversation with his uncle. I said, man, do you just want to be part of it? Do you just want to be a dude or you want to be I said, it's easy. When you come to here, I mean, let's be honest. If you come to Nebraska right now, like if I came in, I was a linebacker, and you go to a bowl, you make the college football playoffs, they will put me up there like higher than I should be. So at this point in time, college football is perfect. It's a great decision, and we're beneficiaries off of it. But everybody better get in that film room.
Facts.
Start working. But anyways, we're going to take a quick break. Went a little bit long. Jay Foreman, DP Austin. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today. I'm ready. Burgers? Check. Chips? Check. Icy cold beer? Check. Except this one. I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Führer's cheese spread? I can't stop eating it. Rico, relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Führer's cheese spread today in most local grocery stores.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Recent gator sightings in Nebraska rivers have biologists perplexed.
Alert! Take advantage of Nebraska's gator infestation and get yours at Acres Fall Gator Sale. We've got 0 interest financing on all John Deere new units, and every used gator is priced to sell. Choose from a variety of models and trim packages. All accessories and attachments are discounted too. For work or play, Acres has the gator for you. Go to acres.com for more details.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard, increase security, and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Are your feet just killing you? You feel like all hope is lost? Say goodbye to discomfort and hello to pain relief at Brown Shoe Fit. They offer expert advice along with high-quality products to help you find the right solution tailored to your specific needs. Need a different width? Not a problem. Brown's carries a wide range of widths in store. Brown Shoe Fit on 66th and Q. Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through September 17th is $2 off fresh packs of ground beef. Also, $10 off all sauces. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Highway 2 in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. You already know that Select Plumbing takes care of all your plumbing needs, including water heaters, faucet repairs, leaks, drips, sump pumps, and more. Now, they're able to help you with your heating and air conditioning as well. Select Plumbing has recently expanded into residential heating and air, and they're excited to bring this new service to their complete list of plumbing services. Call to book an appointment today at 402-560-6197 or go to selectplumbinginc.com. Serving Lincoln, Seward, Milford, and the surrounding areas.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back. Old School crew, Jay Foreman, DP, also great segment there. Kind of just, it's always good when you do radio and you can talk about something and then next level thinking that has to do with sports, a little bit of life, but then also opportunity, which is abound today in this day and age of college football, and it's probably going to even be bigger and better as it changes day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year. College sports in general, but obviously it's football season. Since we've got a short segment here, we'll continue along the football, college football subject. DP, it is now final, which is crazy. Second week into the season, that my man Sherrone Moore has his contract done. Final. Thoughts on that, man? Maybe thoughts on that, but then also, how does that happen in this day and age of multiple agents? You accepted the job, you did the introductory press conference, but it's, what is it, September, what, Austin, 10th? 11th. Yeah, I should know that. I mean, actually, and you're just now getting your contract finalized.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of laughing. That would be kind of the sign of the times for Michigan. That
we'll get around to pay you.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm not sure what the focus and priority is at Michigan. We talked about it at Big Ten Media. Like, to walk into the building as the reigning defending national and Big Ten champion and to accept the weirdness of being disrespected in public, like, what was the point? And to lose Harbaugh and then to not sign Moore immediately tells me it wasn't really that important. You sold everything to get it, and once you got it, you didn't care.
Yeah.
Which tells me it's the conversation we were having yesterday. Yeah, I expect a full-on collapse.
Right. It's almost like
because you didn't even marry the dude.
Yeah,
like it was like,
Yeah, we got to. But if I was Sherrone Moore and his agent, I'm reading the small print. They
put that in bold letters.
But I'm making sure because here's what Michigan seems like they'll do. They'll send you a contract and just say it's 10 pages, but there's an 11th page that they kept for themselves.
Yeah.
That you didn't get, and then be like, oh, here's the same one, because it's almost like and I mean, listen, man, like, whether you have the Patriots and you know the Patriots just felt, I would say the Rams are dumb. You see a dudes with the Patriots there with a thing, and you just letting them film. That's on you. Now, you got to have some dignity and not do it. But at the end of the day, Michigan was, obviously outlandish with it. But it seems like they have created, and not to this magnitude yet, and this is not what I think about Utah and BYU, but it's almost like I guess I would subscribe it as a cult secret society of, like, once you're in this, like, remember that movie Skulls or whatever it was?
Yeah.
Like, you're in this club we're just going to do things differently here. And once you're in the club, you're in. Like, you get what I'm saying? Well, let's take it back to, you had the coach at home breaking into people's email. like this stuff that you'd never think of. Oh, I'm at home. What are you doing? Oh, I'm going to go ahead and break into Coach Harbaugh's email. Let's see what he's talking about today. Let's see what his schedule's like tomorrow.
They did every crazy thing that you could possibly do and denied all of it.
Yeah.
And nobody's affected. Like, literally nobody's. Harbaugh's clean as a whistle. All the seniors from last year, got money, out. Got a ring, chips. Cool, no problem. Everybody back? Oh, man, la, la, la. Cover your ears, cover your eyes. See no evil, hear no evil. But the reality is Michigan told Moore, hey, man, we don't know like you don't know. We could all be gone in a year. NCAA could say, hey, Michigan, we found out y'all enough. And somewhere in this thing, when they didn't sign you immediately, it to me, it was the statement, we're not that into you.
Yeah, because if now he's getting $6 million a year, right? About that, Austin.
Yeah, but that's nickels to them.
I know, but he wouldn't have. I was thinking, like, I wonder why he didn't take a O-line job with the Chargers. We're not going to make that much. So for him, if I'm going to get 1 year, I might as well get $6 million versus, say, I guess $600,000 as an offensive line coach. So for him, it's a good business deal. Now, long term, I would be worried about, okay, could I get another head coaching job, and where would that be at? And what would it look like? Most likely for him, no go. If Michigan collapses or he takes the super fall for it, that means they really highlight his second violation. Big, it was at level 2. And then they, start, oh, well, you did another level 2. Well, then now you're talking about show cause and all that stuff, and they just let you just take it on the chin.
It was defined by Detroit media as him falling on the grenade. That to fall on the grenade, you're getting $6 million. Now, there's a whole bunch of coaches that would fall on the $6 million grenade, right?
Yeah, but I need that 30 though.
What?
6 is one thing.
We want 30, and we could mess around and get 30 by winning this year in spite of all of that.
That ain't happening.
But the reality is, if you're gonna give me $6 million right now, just to be safe, they're gonna.
Yeah.
They can take it.
And I think his ultimate, like, response has to be is to turn that bad boy around. He could be, because once you turn that bad boy around, it puts the NCAA kind of in pause mode. They will reign like no other if they go downhill, because you're an easy target.
Mm-hmm.
And here's an example. Like, it's like when the NCAA will come and, like, they'll go down to a lower level school and make an example out of them. Well, we'll make an example out of Michigan because they're down right now. It'll be interesting how this thing
Michigan
goes.
would let him.
Let him, yeah.
They would let him. You
Yeah.
got the chip. You got the chip. Like, okay, we got to take 2 years down. Cool. Okay.
I still don't think Michigan. I don't think they're worried, or I wouldn't say scared. I don't think they're scared of any type of penalty. Yeah. I think that's why they're acting like this. But either way, he's the head coach. Good on him. Good job by the agent. At least you're getting, like you said, I'm getting paid.
Yep.
I got paid this week.
Yep.
Anyways, we want to take a quick break. Come back. Top of the 5 o'clock hour. We'll go a long segment before we go to the Royals at 5:30, right, Austin? All right, we'll dive into a little NFL action. We'll talk about my man Joe Burrow. We'll talk about those Bengals, and we'll talk about the Jets.
He said Bengals.
Yeah, Bengals. But you know what? Before we do that, I'm gonna pivot like that. And we're gonna talk about the biggest game this weekend: LSU against South Carolina. Who's under more pressure? Who's under more pressure?
I would have sworn you said Northern Iowa.
What? Oh, we'll talk about that. Oh, no.
The biggest game of the week.
No. We already know what we're going to do
That
over
was
here.
a left turn, man. I would have bet.
He got the yellow and purple.
Listen, man, all I was going to say was, look, the weather on Monday, Monday, the food tastes better.
We diving in there. We'll dive into heavy Nebraska
man, look,
tomorrow.
no matter what the result is in that other game.
Oh no, because here's why that game is important. Here's why that game is important. If the pain train coming that we're going to start laying some pain coming down, you better keep an eye on that game. Because as much as LSU might play themselves out of that game, out of that 12, potentially, South Carolina, they got a freak show as a defensive end, might play themselves in there. You got to take I was telling somebody, you got to take a look at everything. It's the details.
I thought I thought the secondary game of the week. Hit the table. I thought the secondary game of the week was Alabama, Wisconsin.
Oh man, come on, DP. Okay, you know what?
We're gonna go to a break. We're gonna find out more.
I want to know.
Austin.
I want to know exactly how many points you think Alabama's going to beat them by.
How Jay Foreman described it. Watching Wisconsin take this whooping will be scrumdiddlyumptious.
You know what that's going to be like?
Nice bratwurst.
It's going to be. Oh yeah. I'm going to sit back. I'll have spotted cow, every type of bratwurst. This is going to be so fun. And I like Luke Fickell. I like him. But I don't like Wisconsin.
I need to see this early in the season.
They're going to straight bum rush.
Woo! Oh, give it to me.
And the accountant linebacker, too.
Give it to me, bro.
Hey, DP, did you know the accountant linebacker changed his number from 36 to 1?
Yeah.
Dude, I seen you, man. You ain't number 5.
You are not that dude.
You 215. Here come them boys. Anyways, we're going to take a quick break, do a little bit of college football, Joe Burrow. After that, Jay Foreman, DP, Austin. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and Jay. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for a new spot to relax and unwind? The Post, located on the south side of the Telegraph District on the corner of 20th and N Street, is perfect for a group hangout or a relaxing evening. The Post has plenty of exciting events open to the public, like Whiskey Wednesday and poker tournaments on Sundays. Looking for a spot for a private event? Ask them about their indoor patio. The Post, located at 20th and N Street in Lincoln.
A fall aeration by Judson Irrigation will help maintain your lawn by maximizing the effectiveness of your watering and fertilization. Judson will flag the locations of your sprinkler heads, followed by a deep core aeration to give your lawn the breath of fresh air it needs. Schedule your aeration today. Your lawn will love you for it.
Let us aerate today to ensure a healthy head start for your lawn next spring. Go to judsonirrigation.com or call Judson Bylene 402-420-6277.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Are your feet just killing you? You feel like all hope is lost? Say goodbye to discomfort and hello to pain relief at Brown Shoe Fit. They offer expert advice along with high-quality products to help you find the right solution tailored to your specific needs. Need a different width? Not a problem. Brown's carries a wide range of widths in store. Brown Shoe Fit on 66th and Q.
Fall is the perfect time to work on outdoor projects. Whether you plan to install a fence or add shrubs to your landscape, don't risk an injury by hitting a buried power line. Always call 811 before you dig.
You can help fight deadly diseases like RSV and influenza while getting paid for your time. Velocity Clinical Research is now seeking clinical trial participants in your area. Participants can receive compensation for study-related time. No health insurance is needed to join. Find a study near you. at velocitytrials.com. That's velocitytrials.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at WindowWorldLincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Rick Heyman from Sauter Heyman Jewelers here. Shop the Wedding Band Expo September 12th through the 14th at Sauter Heyman Jewelers. Choose a wedding band that will stand the test of time or an anniversary band to celebrate time spent together. Only at the Wedding Band Expo. You'll save 20% off all wedding and anniversary bands. Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Wedding Band Expo, September 12th through the 14th. All 3 locations. Find the ring of your dreams at the price you'll love. SauterHeyman.com in Lincoln and Grand Island.
Lee's Restaurant in Lincoln honors, recognizes, and salutes all the brave troops standing tall for our freedoms. Remember them in our thoughts, prayers, and most importantly, our support from home. This from Lee's Restaurant in Lincoln, famous for Southern fried chicken since 1945. Visit leeschickenlincoln.com or call 402-477-4339. Our soldiers make the ultimate sacrifice, so don't forget to give them a big salute, a firm handshake, or just say thanks.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Let's go. We're back. Old School crew, Jay Foreman, DP Austin, coming at you live from 1040 O Street. The Ticket, the mecca of sports radio here in the great state of Nebraska and the capital city. Our show is brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients, the Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th Yankee Hill, 85th in Andermatt, and 168th in Maple up there in the O in the Metro. A lot going on, as always, especially around here. A lot going on come Saturday. The Huskers got a big game. What DP alluded to, so we'll stay on task here. We know we need to get some Husker stuff in here. At the end of the day, stuff's been kind of, sliced and diced. So deeply, you know what? I got to call Ted Washington. I haven't seen him on the cook. That's who I get my cooking stuff from. But anyways, after a, obviously successful game against Colorado, this question is for you too. What do you want to see this week to kind of, in your opinion, kind of be on schedule going into next week, next Friday night game against Illinois?
100-yard rusher. 100-yard rusher. That's going to be the thing that circles for me that says, you know what? we were on purpose. I still need two bombs, right? But I only want those as coronations to you developing. I need a 100-yard rusher and then another 50-yard rusher, at least 50.
So what if you had 80 and 85 and 65?
No, we need you need the 100 burger. You need the 100 burger. Because that means that one of those or two of those broke off all the way. Like right. I need a 40, 50-yard run for a touchdown. Like Matt Rule been talking all camp that we were trying to find a running back who takes the 4 and turns it to 40.
Right.
Okay, so do it.
Yeah.
Show me. And then with that, if you can get Northern Iowa to fatten their neck and flatten their back, Ja'Cory, Banks, all of them, they get vertical. Dylan gets to stretch out a little bit, show off with the arm candy, and then you bang your head on the goalpost. That's what I want to see. I want to see the old days of 100-yard rusher, 2 TDs by the passer, 2 big plays, right? And then, give me 2+ in the turnover game. That means you took care of the ball and then you took some. And if you do those things, this is the matchup for it. Before you get in the conference and you got to fatten your neck and play somebody, show Illinois that you're getting better. Like that's the commitment. Yeah. Like all the stuff you talk about, 1% better.
Yeah.
Well, 1% really? 100-yard rusher. Give me another 50-yard rusher and then 2 bombs.
Yeah, we got a text here from Virginia Pirate. He said minus a fluky holding call. Ramir did bust one off last week.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, I would like to think in a normal game, Dowdell is going to make Shiloh miss, and obviously get in for 20-something yards. But I like that. What about you, Austin?
Yeah, rushing makes sense to me. I'll flip it a little bit. 5 to 5.5 yards per carry or more. Do it consistently. Make sure you're there per carry. Boom or bust is fine. You want to hit the explosives, but really exert your will, right? This is a game where I think if I see Nebraska taking that next step, it's because they dominated.
Yeah.
It's one thing to win. It's another to dominate. Along those lines, score in all 4 quarters, right? That was the quote-unquote bugaboo last week. Great first half, nothing in the second. I don't care if it's the scrubs. Points on the board in all 4 quarters, especially in the second half. And then defensively, they want to run. Okay. You were a, top 15 rushing defense in the country last year. Teams found it hard to run on you. They averaged less than 3.5 yards per carry. Make them get out of what they want to do early. And then to DP's point, when they're not as comfortable throwing the ball, feast.
Yeah, I mean, I like all those. I just think, I'm not going to put a number on it. I just want it to be a lot cleaner, like for 4 games. Run game. Of course, you'd like to have a guy that, and I think Dowdell has kind of started to separate himself, and that's just by 2 games. But I don't. It's not so far where the other guys won't get some carries if they get rolling as well. I'd be okay with like a 75, another 60, and then I really would like if you have a third runner that if we just decided to bludgeon these guys with 30, 40 yards. Now that could be Ramir, Gabe, Emmett, kind of because they can do a little bit more. And then as far as the passing game goes, I would put an emphasis on let's be a lot more efficient on third down. Now, if we get the third and let's start to play this situational football game, at a next level that we're going to have to lean on.
This is seed planning for Big Ten play.
Well, it's seed planning.
But the part I have to show.
Yeah, part of this game right here, because this is what you do, and I'll take you into mind of what it's like when you play these games. This is why this game, for me, when I was even when I was starting as a freshman, I didn't know any better. I was just out there every day. I was like done after practice because I put everything in it because I didn't. First of all, you didn't want to make mistakes. You want to make some plays. You want to do it. You want to live up to expectations of yourself. So I'm just depleted after practice. But once I got older and started to look at the game differently, especially in '97, and I started to think about it, this is where I think what the coaches are maybe talking about to get guys to really start to really dive into the details is you start to think next level about the game of football. So if I'm a leader on this team, my sphincter muscle is puckered up tight. Number one, we completed the first big mission. It's kind of like in 97 when we went up and beat Washington there, right? Everybody was doubting us. We dookie down our leg in 96. Oh, you're not, you really haven't, gotten, you don't have anybody that can really, quarterback was a question. Amon had to be healthy. The offensive line was having some new guys. So we had a lot of questions, right? We answered that bell. Well, that next week, boy, we were ready to drop the hammer. Here's why. You do that because you want to establish a standard, not only for yourself, but within the team. But more importantly, as you start to get into this Big Ten play, and the first one is on Friday night, okay? Part of intimidation is making what they see on film come to real life. That's Colorado's problem. Okay? Well, it's twofold. When Colorado's rolling, North Dakota State saw, hey, that Travis Hunter dude, he's everything that I read about for the last 6 months. Shador is that dude, right? Nebraska didn't have that because Nebraska played him against before. So as you start to do things and you start to prepare, you start to think next level. You don't look. Here's what you need to understand, Texas on here, and Tad is right. You don't look past him. I'm doing this to show you. I'm doing you a favor, Austin. I'm doing you a favor, Brett Bielema. I'm going to make all your dreams come true come Friday night. But I got to handle this first so I can make sure that you're taken care of probably on Friday night. You know what I'm saying? So Northern Iowa's just in the way. So actually, Northern Iowa is going to get it harder. They're going to get a next level performance with the intensity, right? Because I want to prove a point that we're serious. And so that's what, and then obviously, look, defensively, you want some more turnovers. I want to see some big returns in the return game, because what this does is, and then I'll keep going along with it, what this does as a football team, it puts, I wouldn't say fear, but it puts a lot more work on Illinois. A lot more work on it, right? Because Illinois, because if people need to understand, and this is where Connor or Stallions came in, this is like NFL football. You do have people on your staff that do advanced scouting. So say DP's the head coach, I'm the coordinator, and say you're, I don't know what they call him now, analyst, a young guy trying to figure it out. Your job might be to look at Illinois last 2 games, maybe watch this game live, and kind of have us already ready to go come whenever we start to work on them. So you do advanced scout. Now, I don't know if they go play. I'm not getting into all that. So that's what you have to do. So, but in order for us we could put more on their plate, we improve on the mishaps on special teams, and then also we start to really get explosive in return game. That's either punt or kickoff return. We continue along. We got to cover kicks, right? Be extremely physical there. Then offense and defense, and say we show it's not even about a wrinkle. Say we, like DP said, we let Dylan stretch out that arm a little bit, whether it's with Lloyd, Banks, Nayer, whoever, or we mix in like it right here. One of the Texans said we need a little bit of a tight end game, whether it's Fedoni, Borkacher, or a combination of both, or it's Bonner, or it's Nelson, or it's IGC. I think he's playing the slot. I think I saw on the depth chart. All that stuff puts the onus on them. How does that affect them, right? It makes them weaker because they have to do more to prepare for us, and we're just doing what we do.
Yeah, it's challenging their work, right? Are you able to match the work that I'm putting in? The more you put on their plate, the more that you can do, the harder it is for them to match your work.
It's a tendency breaker and maker, right? That if I can look at 2 weeks of film on 3rd and short, tendencies show up.
Mm-hmm.
If 2nd and 9, what do you do? 1st and 10, what's your go-to? Like, what are the things you want to run? What play do you run the most?
Yeah.
Like that's a first level thing, but it's for Illinois, it's important. Now the problem is you don't know what Nebraska's showing against Northern Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know. Nebraska can think they're good enough to run some of their mid-level stuff well enough to not show Illinois their real tendencies.
Yeah, and see the thing about tendencies, you have to self-scout. And then also the thing about knowing what you're doing, if you do it well enough, it will be successful. And you can do it the same way and just spice it up differently. The team that does it the best, and this is in the NFL, is the 49ers. They run about 4 to 6 run plays, and they just run them. They get to them in just a different way.
Yeah, the formations are
the formation,
motion,
right? The
late
motion,
motion,
right? They'll have Jusek lined up off the ball, motion him back, and then have him split the zone.
They'll run it to the short side
right.
or wide side. It's really weird.
They run the same stuff out of 11 as they do 21.
Right, because they have versatility because they have different body types. So, everybody's like thinking like, I can't speak for any of the coaches. I just have never been, even when I was at Nebraska or, my whole time in the NFL, it never was like, oh, well, we're playing New England in 2 weeks. We got a whole different playbook. Now you're going to have stuff that affects or it goes against their weaknesses. That's every week, and stuff that you might have scouted prior, and that's normal. And then you might have some trick plays every game.
It might be a matchup that it's just so good.
Well, and you always go into trick plays. Yeah. You always come in with new trick plays or new wrinkle because, say like when BYU and Utah plays, and say Utah State kind of showed something against one of those teams. Oh, okay, then we're going to get to it.
Especially if it's in your playbook already.
Right, or a version, or
right.
a version of it.
And you run it better than the team that had success.
Or you have a version of it,
yeah.
Right? And so here's an example of my experience of this. So I'll never forget this. We played New England. We played Atlanta, excuse me. We played Atlanta, and they had a really good tight end, a fast tight end named Algie Crumpler. I used to call him Junk in the Trunk. My man my man Algie Crumpler had a BB. But listen, Algie Crumpler laid that 4-5 on him. But they had another tight end that was good.
He was a Carolina boy, right?
Yeah.
And
so Algie would get up when Vic Fangio would always like to run cover 3 against boundary wing slot to the field. I hated it because the middle field player is got to shade towards the slot, and then you're trying to ask a corner to play essentially a third in the flat. So if you get a vertical and a corner's not used to taking a vertical from like close in the box, that puts me I'm in a run mindset to the boundary. And if you get a free release, he's past me. Well, we played Atlanta. They missed Algie a couple times. They missed him a couple times. I said, hey man, we need to change that cover 3 up to where I either take the flat and we flood it weak, right? And then have the drop down safety play like a hook dropper to the flat, because then that means the corner can play from depth down, see it coming at him, right? No, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, hey, that's fine. All right, that's cool. All right, I mean, I know I'm out here and Algie Crumpler just, I was going to be on ESPN, but, Chandler or whatever didn't hit him. Oh, okay, well, then guess what? Here go Trent Green, and they had Jason Dunn, who was a huge tight end, and then also had Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Well, here's what happened. Me and Will Shields were going at it, right? And it's one of my favorite games because Will looked like he's quiet. He talked hellified stuff, right? So he had played against Mike Rucker the week before. He's like, oh, yeah, I got after your boy last week. You won some. I was like, oh, no. That ain't happening, right? I said, this is 800 Westwood Road. That's where we lived in college. I said, so we're going back and forth, and they had been running with Priest Holmes and all them in this formation. But I knew they were going to start passing because they flipped Jason Dunn and Tony Gonzalez. Tony Gonzalez, when they were running, was the wing. And I told Vic, I said, we need to run a check, please. I said, please, I got on the horn. Can we please run a check? Because they put Tony Gonzalez as a down tight end to test us.
Yeah.
And
what are you going to do?
And they
Foreman sees disaster.
What's your reaction?
Well, here's what they did. They did like a little fake look, and it wasn't even a run fake, and just threw it to the flat. They just was seeing if we made adjustment. No adjustment made. Gonzalez, break the huddle, hard play action. And when their play action was good. So I hit Brian Waters, Gonzalez on Aaron Glenn. He kind of ran like a skinny post. Aaron Glenn's playing outside the end. Well, the safety's going to the slot. It hit us 2 or 3 times with it. So you talk about wrinkles. Those are the little things you use based on what you see your prior opponent do against you. So you have to do a good job of self-scouting, self-evaluation, but then also you want to establish yourself from a foundation standpoint, because the game's going to come down to on Saturday night against Northern Iowa, running, blocking, and tackling, and who comes out and takes control of the game.
Do we know, or do we think we know? I'll pull a sip of what we know versus what we think we know. Do we know what Nebraska's best offensive play is, or favorite offensive play?
Not yet. I mean, we've only been in 2 games, but I can tell you the play that I like that they run is I like it. It's like an inside zone, and they ran it different ways though. And people think it's a new wrinkle. They ran it right, and Dowdell's running it. He ran it better the second week than he did the first week.
He was back cutting on it off of it too.
Yeah, it's an inside zone coming right off the tail of the guards, but it's blocked really well because you can hit it and tighten the B gap. And if you have a C gap defender
overflow
that stunts in there, you can hit it off the C gap. So I like that play. Now, I think what they really do well is everything in the passing game, because you have a quarterback that can go through the progressions and play pitch and catch. He throws catchable balls. So all that stuff. But I really like the way that they get to their run game, and I also like the way that they're getting on people. I think that when you look at the first 2 quarters of the game last week, there wasn't any direct access plays to where the defender had direct access to the quarterback or the running back. So all of them are working, but I like that inside zone because here's why I like it. And I don't mean to cut you off. You have 4 running backs that can run it, and they run it just a little bit different.
Oh, they
but here's also the really good thing. Coach Donnie, the offensive line coach, I call him Coach Donnie, Donovan, has the offensive line in tune enough that they know to block it a certain way then let the guys do what they do.
Well, yeah, it's much more read based than, hey, you have to get your guy here based.
Mm-hmm.
Like Dowdell doesn't care. Dowdell has the best pace. He has the best pace. He gets off the tail of the block, whatever way it's going to end up going. He gets to it at the right time better than any of the 4.
Yeah.
Ramir is more balanced. He likes to flow into it.
Yeah.
Emmett is the explosive one. I think Emmett is the one that when he hits
Emmett runs is the best.
Yeah, he hits it.
I'm talking about from a defensive perspective.
He hits it clean.
When he ran it against UTEP, he set up the defender there, and I called it, he was the tiptoe burglar.
Yep.
So where he was able to actually cross over his steps and get skinny, and the 2 guys couldn't collapse on him. People don't realize when you look at Dowdell on that first one he ran, he was a little wide in how when he got the ball, he slipped a little bit. But then once he gets his shoulder square and he decides where he's going, he makes up for it and he hits it tight. I think he ran it better the second week than he did the first week. So from I always like to talk about things from a defensive perspective to give the offensive perspective. When you have a running back room that can run all the plays almost the same, that's harder to defend because, okay, here's an example, and I'll get to you, unknown texter here, 1000, is when we played Washington, right? They had 2 good running backs, but I instantly knew what running back would be running inside, outside zone when they had 2 tight ends and they ran trips, or if they just went 11 personnel and had trips, because he couldn't run any of the other plays. He didn't run toss well because he was a 90-degree guy. You know what I mean? When he went toss, his shoulders were 90 degrees, were flat. The hardest were in guys that kind of run it and catch it going straight forward. You know what I'm saying? Because once they get square, they can go inside, outside, and then now I got to hesitate. That I get hooked by the guard. He hits his head up on the goalpost. Whereas when you have Nebraska, I think you got 4 guys that can do a lot of the things the same. Obviously, it looks a little different. I'm just talking about from a linebacker. It puts more onus on you to prepare and over prepare, or be prepared, because there's no plays off.
I'll ask you this as a linebacker, because we would always attack it based on that, based on your reaction to who we put on the field. And there were Husker fans Saturday, Sunday, Monday who were talking about the fact that, well, when Dowdell's in, it's a run game. When it's Ramir, it's the passing game, or at least a consideration of it. But that to me
almost seems like a seed plant for later. Yeah, what well,
right?
and
Because it seems to me like Dowdell can catch the ball.
He
out of
can catch the ball,
backfield,
right?
And
yeah.
you could go power with Ramir. We've seen that.
Yeah, we've seen it. He's done it. And if you're going to be short-sighted and prepare like that, then you're going to get caught with doing something, because it's not only what the linebackers thinking, it's what the coordinators thinking. And now you got either a run defense, run blitzing, X, Y, and Z. Now you're setting yourself up for play action pass or some sort of screen game or something like that. So do we got to go to break, Austin?
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break, come back. I'll get to your we'll get to the text, and then we'll be on the stream after this. Jay Foreman, DP Austin, we'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through September 17th is $2 off fresh packs of ground beef. Also, $10 off all sauces. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Highway 2 in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Disney on Ice presents Mickey's Search Party. Get closer to the magic than ever before. Play along with the Toy Story gang. Explore the colorful world of Coco. Sail away with Moana. Soar to new heights with Belle. And journey to Arendelle to thaw a frozen heart. It's an all-out celebration at Disney on Ice presents Mickey's Search Party. Coming to Pinnacle Bank Arena September 27th through 29th. Visit DisneyOnIce.com and get your tickets today.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today.
I'm ready.
Burgers?
Check.
Chips?
Check.
Icy cold beer?
Check. Except this one.
I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Fuhrer's cheese spread?
I can't stop eating it.
Rico,
relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Fuhrer's cheese spread today in most local grocery stores.
You can help fight deadly diseases like RSV and influenza while getting paid for your time. Velocity Clinical Research is now seeking clinical trial participants in your area. Participants can receive compensation for study-related time. No health insurance is needed to join. Find a study near you at velocitytrials.com. That's velocitytrials.com.
Hey, Nebraska football fans, it's defensive lineman Ty Robinson, and I've got a winning play for you with Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical. Team up with Action and install a new Bradford white water heater in your home. And if we win the conference championship this season, you'll get a full refund. Don't fumble this opportunity. Sack your old water heater this season and score big with Action. Visit actionlincoln.com/Huskers to learn more.
Promotion valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Bagels and Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch in September. Try their brand new caramel apple butter cream cheese or apple coffee cake muffins through their new partnership with local apple orchard Picnic Hill. 4 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
College football season is back, and you can hear the top games all year long here on 93.7 The Ticket. This week, we have an SEC Big Ten collision set to kick off at 11 a.m. Kalen DeBoer, Jalen Milroe, and the new-look Alabama Crimson Tide will face their first big test of the season by heading to Camp Randall to take on Tyler Van Dyke and the Wisconsin Badgers. Will they be jumping around in Madison after an upset this week? Find out by tuning in for a 10:30 pregame leading to an 11 a.m. kickoff. Catch the action on the gridiron all season long here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Old School with DP and J.
On your scale of 1 to 7, because the Husker in you, the player in you, and then the football analyst, where were you?
That's a good question. I probably was 7 would be, we're back. I'll probably say I look at all of it, probably 4.5, 5. I have a lot of good teach tape, and I can keep the pedal to the metal.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jay Foreman, DP, Austin, Old School. We're live on the stream here on a Wednesday. Great day outside. It's barely windy. So, texter or 1000 said he was at the Washington game, and he said the Washington game set the tone for the rest of the season, and he said I was played a good game. So I mean, look, those are the games that you think of that you train all off season for. And that's what Colorado is for these young men. But you got to, like I said on the post game show when it was, almost midnight. I mean, hey man, that game's over. I'm not here to be the Debbie Downer, but we came, we saw, we kicked ass, and now we got to be done. Mm-hmm. Now that doesn't mean that you don't celebrate and be happy about it. But come Sunday when it's sun up, we got to move on to Northern Iowa. It's got to be business as usual, and we got to give them the business. And that's the best way to approach it. That's the best way to approach it. You got to approach it in sports. It's no different than the basketball team. I remember one time we went to triple overtime, beat Iowa, and that was great. Or when we stormed the court, we beat Purdue and all that. Well, after that, we got to get back to practice because now we go from the hunter to the hunted. So we got to take the same mindset as we had last Wednesday, right? We're willing to do
same work.
But the mindset I'm big on intent, right? Because there's days like this is what I think a lot of people, and look, if you don't play, you don't understand. There's a lot of days that you're just not your day. You can play good and get beat. I can be in the right position and Tony Gonzalez catches it on me. You know what I mean? I could have great coverage, a great pass, and a great catch beats it. But you got to have the intention and the intent to show up with the right mindset because that's what will take you farther and to let you be more consistent because intent is discipline. Intent is attention to detail. Intent is being selfless instead of selfish. All those things are wrapped up into that, at least by my definition, right? That's how you are able to say, you know what? When I always talk about when Andre Johnson walked through the gates at Houston, I was like, you know what? That's the dude right there. But you know what? That same approach that he had on day one was the same approach after playing with him for 2 years. It didn't change because there's days that Andre didn't feel good. There's days he didn't catch it, or that's the case of the drops or whatever. There's days I got beat. There's days I got my ankles broke. But the intent was because that's that's going to help you fight through hard weeks, hard games, hard situations. And if you have more guys, which obviously you want a high percent of your team with the right intent, they're not coming to practice to get through practice. They're coming to practice to get better in every situation. Because even if things don't go right for you, you can still get better because I'm learning. If people think that like when we play Washington, that the guys didn't get beat or we had like perfect practices, that's not how it goes. Sometimes the best games is like, all right, we figured it out by Friday. We actually had a breakthrough and then we get the fruition, but we had to work through, the muddy waters to get there.
When you found yourself in muddy waters, was it more helpful for you to focus on the big picture, the why am I doing this? Why do I love football? Or is it more important for you to focus on what is this drill? What is this session of practice? What do I have to do to be successful?
When the muddy waters are two things is like, you get in the training camp, you feel like crap, it sucks. Let's be honest, right? It ain't fun being out there in 100 and something degrees. It's what you like. That I love football, but I got a headache, body sore, I ain't seen I don't know what's going on. You getting there early, you're leaving late. But the best thing that I could say if I had to give somebody advice is have a goal. I want to win this play. I want to win this drill. I want to win this practice. I want to work on being explosive with my hands, and I want to be excellent at getting off blocks. There's days at Austin where I knew physically I did not have it. I didn't. And it was a couple times actually in Houston where I actually give it up to my man Ray Wright. He was a weight coach there, and there was days that he would push me really hard in the weight room, and I wouldn't feel good the next day. But he's like, trust me, by Sunday you will be ready, because he had it all timed out. So on those days, I knew I had to be excellent with my checks. I had to be excellent with my footwork. I had to be excellent in my body position. That's how you get through those muddy waters. Now, when we are thinking about, say if we're struggling with the defense or whatever, or there's a couple times or more times than now that I feel like, all right, I need to play better or something like that, or I didn't feel, even though we might have played good or I played good, that I need to then I go back to the basics though. I just peel that bad boy all the way back to, all right, let me see, where am I aligned? You go back to the basics, because it's like a golfer where, like I saw Tiger Woods, he's like, oh, when I'm struggling, I just go back to grip, stance, and whatever ball position, whatever it is, just like baseball.
Clear your head.
Right? Well, baseball DP, let me ask you this. So say like you went through a slump or whatever.
No, Jay Foreman.
Oh, okay. Well, you didn't go through a slump. All right, my bad.
There it is.
Yeah, my bad. I thought we were being transparent. You know what I'm saying?
Here's
So you never went through a slump in baseball.
Here was my philosophy when it came to
But
slump.
did you ever go through a slump?
Define slump.
Austin?
Define a slump.
Do you ever feel not right in the box for more than a game at a time?
Yeah.
There were pitchers that made me uncomfortable. Pitchers that made me change my philosophy against them.
Or better yet, say you strike out a couple times, but you make
Dang, Jay, why you putting that on me?
Well, I know that's what happened. I mean, my man Frank Thomas was talking about he strike out a couple times, but
Ken Dixon.
Two people in here can hit a curve.
Ken Dixon.
Right.
Ken Dixon.
I could not.
That's what I'm saying too.
Ken Dixon made me you know who made me Sid Thrift. So Big Jim Thrift, GM for the Orioles. Yeah. He had a big 6'6" son,
right,
who was our rival, and
right.
he threw nasty work.
Right.
He made me uncomfortable because he knew that, one, to avoid a slump, I'd lay one down and beat it out and laugh at you the whole time. Like, it didn't matter what you threw.
Yeah.
I was going to do that. So Sid would throw at me. He would throw at me. And I mean, he would throw behind me.
Right.
Which, throw at my head so I could duck, but don't throw behind me.
Right.
Because it's unnatural. He wanted to take away the bunt. So then it became that at bat would be a battle about, are you willing to risk being hit in the head to get that bunt down?
Right.
That was not the norm.
Right.
That was not a normal. Anybody else, I just need to get the ball in play and I'll be fine. And I took that chance that if I put the ball in play, they had to be perfect to throw me out.
But I guess what I'm asking is this, and
I'm joking. I had slumps.
I know.
I had slumps. So
I never had.
I had slumps.
I never played baseball to the level that you did. So I always wonder. I'm assuming guys go back to the fundamentals of hitting, because in baseball it's very results oriented, right? You stay
back,
right? So you could go through a couple games where you don't get good pitches, you strike out. Then you can make good contact, and then people start making good plays.
It's Crash Davis from Bull Durham.
Right. So
the conversations in the head: stay back, be quick. Stay back, be quick. Those are the things.
So then, do you go to whatever it is that you built your original approach in the batter's box with?
For me, it was being even with the plate. So I saw the ball long. I didn't want to be back in the box because I'd have to take the breaking ball.
Right.
If your breaking ball was so filthy that you could break it before it got to home plate, I could see it. I was going to adjust.
Right.
Late break, most high school and college, low-level college pitchers don't have, especially back then, the fastest fastball was like 89. Like, it's a different game than it is now.
Yeah.
So if you threw 85 and you had an early break, I was going to get you. But if you had 88 and then you had a late breaking It didn't even have to be a good curveball. Just throw it at me and have it break once it got to the plate.
Right.
Then we all knew, okay, this dude, you suck. You're terrible. I don't want to play anymore. I don't want to play anymore. Hey, coach,
my back.
Hey, yes. Well, that's why I learned to switch hit, because that late breaker.
Right.
So we all have those things in your head.
Yeah.
That as a coach, hey, my base premise is no penalties. Listen, guys, don't reach, don't grab. Don't reach, don't grab. Punch, be quick.
Yeah.
Basketball, don't reach, dig. Don't, go back to
just being steady.
Go back to, if we do the 10 rules of whatever sport you're playing.
Yeah.
If you do those 10 rules, you're a 500 team.
Right.
You're a 500 player.
Right.
It's when you start to get fancy and cute, or you forget the basics.
Yeah.
That you're just terrible.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I mean, I've had games where I didn't play well, or at least to my standards, or pretty much I didn't play well. Matter of fact, Dom called me up and said, man, that game wasn't very good. I was like, or no, actually it was Reggie Herring. After he got done cussing at me for about a minute and a half, he's like, you ain't play well, right? I remember a game, and this is a good dive into when you play big games or what you view as big games. So I played 4 years in Buffalo, got traded down to Houston, and I started to kind of flourish in Buffalo, I thought, oddly enough, Greg Williams was the head coach. Jerry Gray was the D coordinator, but I really started to be invested in the city of Buffalo, right? I like Buffalo. It was, it's kind of like Lincoln, and I started to really like it, and I started to flourish as a player. So I get traded, and so we're playing Buffalo the next year. So now it's a game. Then this is where you can also, where if you think about it becomes personal, you can lose sight of what you're doing, and don't even know it. And I remember we were playing Buffalo, and actually this is the game Dom had to, they were calling for my head. I got 2 personal fouls, and they were ready to get me up out of there. But now the rest of the game was, I played decently, but it just felt a little off. And I remember being in the moment and trying to do too much, what we call stemming around, trying to show in the A gap, trying to be in the A gap when that's not even the A gap I need to try to fool in. I need to, just trying to
doing too much,
do way too much.
Too much.
And I remember where Buffalo, they had Travis Henry, my man T. Hen, who you always talked in the third person. So I wanted to, look at the run game, because I was active in the run game, but I wasn't as active. And I was like, it was real simple. And you know how simple it was, Austin, is if that middle pole was Reuben Brown right down the middle of his helmet. So instead of lining up like stripe to stripe, I was either too far over to the right or too far over to the left, and I was trying to anticipate plays. I was actually kind of moving myself out of the way, and it was
get to where you're supposed to be.
And it was the crazy.
Not trusting your eyes, not trusting your film.
It was doing too much, and I'd never done that before. But I had to really sit there and I had to watch the tape 3 times to pick up on it, and it was all in the footwork, right? And then conversely, then it actually boiled over until when we played Cincinnati the next week. Now I had a shoulder injury, and then I remember Gary Walker coming up to me. He's like, "Man, your shoulder still hurt." I'm like, "No, it's not." Well, I went back and watched how I was taking on a couple guards and stuff like that, and I was playing like protecting it.
Yeah.
Here comes the bye week. And I had this great masseuse, and they used to work on the nerves, and somehow it was all I needed was the bye week. And after that, I was gone. But it was those 2 games to where I had to really look at the basics. And it took me a while to catch the Buffalo game. Now, mind you, I was still hiding out in my apartment, because 610 radio down there was like, now Dom told me they weren't going to cut me. Now granted, the second personal foul was just, I was playing a football play. He dipped his head, and it was the whole collar thing. Now the first one I earned, real good. But so it took 3 times for me to watch it, to pick up on it. And it took 3 weeks to remedy it. Now I was still playing at a good clip, then. But then once I really got into it, I took off like gangbusters.
But see, that's the wild thing about sports is that, like you said before, you can do everything right and get poor results, or you can do 85% of stuff right, not be at your best, and still be better than half the league.
Yep.
2/3 the
Yeah.
league, but it feels wrong. It feels weird until, like you said, you put in those 3 watches. It takes them 3 weeks after that, and you're like, okay, yeah, I got it. I'm back.
Once that light goes on, and then by me playing well, it really gave me ton of confidence in my process. So even if they're like later, I'm sure there was games later, I went right back to that. That was in my memory bank though.
But you're a perfect person to ask in this. Whose voice did you hear in your head while you were playing? Like, I would think that in some cases it's your dad. Some cases it's Coach Osborne or defensive
Coach McBride or something like that.
McBride,
Yeah,
right?
something like that. I mean, I'll be honest with you, no disrespect to any of the coaches I ever played for in the pros. I always called Coach McBride, and I called it. I would get like I call it a play check. Like, am I playing up?
What's the truth serum?
Right. But it's like he's giving me an honest evaluation of what I look like on tape, how I'm playing. Just it kind of depends on the game, but more or less is like, yeah, probably Coach McBride. But then, when you're in the game, the mental like in between plays, the thoughts, those are like, it could be my uncle talking. I could be thinking about what
clean house, man.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about like my uncle up there telling me like, you're a warrior. What are you going to do on 4th down? I'm thinking about my grandfather, when he was sick. Then once you get into the play, all that's gone. And people think when the crowd is loud like that you hear it the whole time. I'm going to tell you right now, this is a dive into what it's like to play in a big game. When the play goes, you don't hear anything. But once you make a play or a big play happens,
you hear the crowd.
Then it comes on, and then it's like that. Then when, once you get the call or whatever, defensively you get the call, then you're getting it. And then once you get the play, it's just amazing that,
because you're here as a defender, you're hearing the quarterback, you're hearing conversation and communication. You're hearing that until snap. Then you go white.
Right. And it's in slow motion. So when you're about to make it, when Mekhi Bear is about to go make a tackle, or Bullock is about to make that 4th and 1 tackle, that's probably he might not know it right now. It's slow motion because you're there. You see that gap, you go, you hit him, and so it's like 1 second,
and the game slows down. That's
it slows down.
People talk about the game slowing down. That's what they're talking about.
Because that game in Buffalo was fast. Hey, my first mini camp in Buffalo was fast. It was fast. I was like, these brothers are moving in warp speed. Because they know where they're going. They're going with a purpose. They're efficient, and you're not there yet. And so, big thing for Nebraska this week is just get back to the basics. Now, you got to keep adding on to the basics, but people always look at the end result versus what gets you there. Big plays are created off of, the cause and effect. What causes this? How do you compound interest to open up play action or whatever?
There are several plays Saturday with Nebraska where you knew the game had slowed down for the player. Tommy Hill's pick 6 was one that he saw that before it was thrown.
He was probably thinking, "Don't you dare throw that thing over!"
Yeah. You're like, he was talking him into it.
Yeah, go ahead.
He go ahead and throw it.
Thank you.
He go ahead and throw it.
Yep.
And because his reaction was, "Yep."
Because I was sitting there and I said, it's a clock in your mind. In that play, here's a great. Before we go to break, here's a great thing. You know who made that play?
Inside.
John Bullock made that play.
Inside.
He was on a hook drop against Travis Hunter, and he did a great little thing where he got inside. He didn't get out leveraged. He didn't over go on or over drop on his drop. Travis Hunter pretty much what we call a NIF route, which is an option route on when a small guy on a big guy, and then he continued to drive back inside to take away that initial throw to Shador, and Shador should have threw it out of bounds, but just out of habit, it's a practice habit, he was able to throw it, but he didn't throw it quick enough. So once you're just like a half a second late or half a read late, it's 6 points.
Especially wide side.
But in this case, but if you watch the play, once so if I'm hearing that first read is gone, I got to go there right now. He went there. Boom, 6 points. Yeah. And it's no different than in my first mini camp when I did it. And here comes Jamie Nails, and I had one false step. Hit on the goalpost. Now, granted, I'm glad it was minicamp, but that's the way. That's the anatomy. That's kind of like an anatomy of a big play. Those big plays, big returns, big plays are generally set up by something that happens either during the play, which is John Bullock got I call it the hockey assist. You don't get the assist, you don't get the goal, but you made the play. Or the big plays are sometimes set up by something that's gone in the that you call in the first, second quarter. I didn't even get to get into Coach Osborne. I guarantee Coach Osborne sometimes called plays that would just be on tape so he could call something else down the road, setting up down the road. But you got to have superior confidence and execution to do that. Now, we were a lot farther along than we are right now, but that's when the game gets fun. So, anyways, good segment here. We're going to take a quick break, come back, put a bow on this Wednesday. Jay Foreman, DP Austin. We'll be right back.
In today's digital landscape, the security of your business is non-negotiable. That's why you need better cybersecurity solutions. At Hamilton, we make it our business to protect your network, data, and digital assets with the latest in cybersecurity technology. Our dedicated team of experts has the technology in place to protect what matters most to you and your business. Stay ahead of cyber threats with better cybersecurity protection. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Riddle's Jewelry is excited to be celebrating 65 years. 65 years of so many incredible memories celebrating with each of your special moments. In celebration of the 65th Riddle's Jewelry anniversary, we will be offering up to 40% off all engagement rings and all diamond fashion jewelry. The excitement doesn't stop there. Riddle's Jewelry is also offering 18 months, 0% interest and $0 down financing on all qualifying purchases. Riddle's Jewelry has always been known for incredible customer service, one of the largest selections of engagement rings, and don't forget about the on-site jeweler. Come celebrate with us at Riddle's Jewelry, your one-stop diamond shop with exclusive Levian jewelry, Pandora Charm jewelry, and more. All at Riddle's inside Gateway Mall.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a slight chance of showers and storms this morning. Otherwise, probably the mostly sunny skies expected with an afternoon high around 85. Tonight, mostly clear skies with an overnight low around 58. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies return. We'll see a high around 77. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
You've seen them come and go. Franchise testosterone clinics that pop up and then whoosh, they're gone.
These franchise clinics quickly find out it's not easy to compete with Limitless Mail. Limitless is locally owned and operated with a flawless protocol that has elevated them to be the best in men's testosterone replacement and sexual performance. By adding GLP-1s, our patients are losing weight in a healthy way. To feel your optimal best, schedule a free consult at limitlessmail.com.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, DP Austin. One little quick segment, and we are 24 hours away from round 1, 2024. My Buffalo Bills against Jake Sorensen's Miami Dolphins. Round 1, Thursday night. Ding, ding. Ding, ding.
And you can hear it right here. Pregame starts at 6:30 on 93.7.
Oh, yeah. I can't. We cannot wait. Ding, ding. DP, you'll probably be in flight in. Oh no, descending.
I'll be on the ground. I'll be in Vegas, but I'll be at a sports book by then.
Okay, yeah, okay. Well, yeah, I was thinking you were going to be descending.
No,
but you'll be there, and you'll be able to see.
I'll be at a sports book.
See my Buffalo Bills do our thing
somewhere. You tell me what I'm doing.
Can they pop it up on the Sphere for you?
Oh, that's Friday. That's Saturday. Friday. Get to go to the Sphere.
I'm saying on the outside of the Sphere. Have the game around the outside.
Listen, there would be traffic everywhere if you did that. There'd be accidents.
Everywhere.
There'd be accidents everywhere, man.
Yeah, I think it's going to be cool to see them clash up again tomorrow. Be interested to see how Buffalo plays. Considering that Stephon Diggs is gone and all that, but
opportunity
on a short week.
Opportunity, man. It's listen. The NFL had a good week 1.
They did. Let's see, but this week 2 is where, just like we saw in college football, is where people get a little surprised. So, and also for the teams that lost in week 1, you always know this next week is crucial. You don't ever want to start. You don't ever want to start off 0-2 because then they put up the stats. Whoever started 0-2 and all that, even if it's a 17-game season, doesn't look good. But what looks good is another great show with this old school crew. Jay Foreman, DP Austin. We're gonna holler at you tomorrow.
Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier Sea-Doo dealership. Score up to $300 off or a free 2-year warranty on 2024 Sea-Doo Sparks and $500 off or a free 2-year warranty on all other brand new 2024 Sea-Doos. Rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of September. On or off-road, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with a large selection of motorcycles and watercraft in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what